our continual connection. When you come on, say hello, hello, hello. That's our Workouts for Older Men live greeting. Tell me if you're watching me. I am doing this live on Facebook at 𝗥𝗲𝗺𝗃 page. I am doing it live on my YouTube channel at 𝗥𝗲𝗺𝗃. If you just happen to be watching a clip from TikTok, 𝗥𝗲𝗺𝗃, Twitter 𝗥𝗲𝗺𝗃, from Instagram 𝗥𝗲𝗺𝗃, or my LinkedIn channel, let me know where you're watching me from. Tell me what part of the world you're watching me from. If you have a question, a comment, a suggestion, let me know. If you have any questions, we can talk about workouts. We can talk about eating, a lot of questions around eating and how that all works in. Motivation. A lot of men are struggling with motivation. They feel they know what to do. They just can't get themselves to do it on a continual basis. I can talk about that. Talk with a lot of men through my one-on-one coaching. I have been talking. It's what I do all day long. I talk to men just like you and me, a little bit older, busy lives. All right. We got a lot of responsibilities. All right. But we want to get fit too. And we believe that when we're lean, we're fit, we're confident, we exercise, not only we take care of our long-term health, our longevity, but also it'll give us more energy to function more effectively in our everyday life with more confidence, more energy, right? So that's why we're doing all this. I know you want it badly. As I talk to many people, it's just like what's important, what's not, maybe choosing the wrong things to stress and put a lot of priority and thinking it's a really valuable piece of the puzzle, and they're leaving out things that are massively important. You're never gonna get there if you don't understand the importance of it. I don't care how long you've been training. There are key pieces that a lot of men miss when it comes to training and nutrition. And I could sit here and tell you exactly what they are. But if you're like a lot of smart men, you go, well, that's not me. I take care of it. But is that the case? When I talk to men through the one-on-one coaching, there's a lot of things that they didn't understand. They don't put enough priority on. But, if you're consistent and you watch your diet, you're going to look good. You're going to look better than most. But for a lot of men, they come up short, and that's when they come to me. And then I kind of figure out, how they see the world, what they're stressing, what's important to them. All right. So Andrew, hello, Andrew over on Facebook. Mike, hello. Thanks for the text, Mike. Bruce, hello. The myth, the legend, Iron Man magazine from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Great to have you here, Bruce. Steve so Bruce is on YouTube, and so is Steve. Great to have you here. All right, guys. So we got any questions? Ken, hello from Facebook. If you have any questions, you're watching this replay version. The more and more I show up, the more and more questions it might stimulate. Right now, without the questions, I'd love to go back and forth with. Sometimes we get a lot of great questions, right? But I'll still chip away at the things that you may think you need to know, and I'll just have you maybe 1, 2, 10 times get you to relook at it. Maybe that's my challenge, where right now you don't think, and maybe it'll happen in this conversation. All right. So, so today was an interesting day. Like I said, so this morning, so I'm on this roll of doing the 5-minute workout in the morning. Got a system set up in my home gym garage. I want to improve like the lighting and things like that, but it's going pretty good. And and I was ready to start, and then the internet went upstairs. Hey, what's going on here? But the show must go on. So, I shot did the workout. Maybe it wasn't really on the message because, I had to use my phone, and I didn't take the time to set it up perfectly like I want things to be when I shoot live videos. But I went through it anyway, and had a good workout. And then, got that corrected. The internet came back up, and I said, it was a couple hours later. I said, I'm going to do this right to keep the momentum. All right. So that was my day, pretty good day. I had clients all throughout the day. But something, happened to me that I'm still a little shaken about. Right. So, So I play a lot of sports, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of times where I go, is a 59-year-old, almost 60-year-old body, is it supposed to be doing this? Right? Because my mind, I just think I'm a 35-year-old, and I surprisingly, I don't know what it's like to be 59 and a half and play sports. I don't know. And, as a bodybuilder, I didn't play a lot of sports. And after bodybuilding, I didn't play. I just worked out. I concentrated on my business, started my family and everything like that. Didn't play a lot of sports. I'm not a guy to play a recreation basketball where I meet with other guys and, or softball or anything like that. So it was just functional, stay in shape, eat right. Very rarely did I play sports. And I don't even know, I think there was a brief period, after I competed, but that's like 15 years ago where I played a lot of basketball. So I haven't played a lot of sports. So, with my son and my daughter, play a lot of sports. Now, it's not like really competitive. It's like you're playing, they're 8.5 and 7, but, I throw a lot of baseballs. I throw a lot of footballs. Don't play a lot of basketball. Now, I'm not playing full tilt, but everything that I do, it's like, I always kind of amaze myself that I can still do this, but I don't know what it's like to be 60, right? And I've seen the videotapes because I videotape, I'm really into coaching. I've created systems. You'll see more about that if you've got kids or grandkids about coaching. So I take a lot of video of my kids. And I'm playing with them. And sometimes I'm watching the video and thinking, oh, is that, and throwing the baseball and everything. To me, I'm not missing that much of a beat. And that could be delusional or whatever. But the other day earlier, we played a little basketball like first in the morning. And I kind of went down. It's 8-foot baskets for the kids. And I went for a dunk. And I just kind of landed just a little, on my, little off on my foot. And it was like, that's weird. I mean, I was fine, but you could feel it. And I'm thinking, I should really think that, dunking at 60 years old and taking to the hoop and making cuts. I thought, I just kind of thought, for the grace of God, go I, that, I've never had a torn ACL or anything like that, but I just wonder what it would be like if I just turned just a little bit more. And it kind of had me thinking, well, tonight, just like within an hour ago, right? So like I'm teach my kid, the fine points, the mental points of baseball. Like when you hit the ball, you run through first base, you hustle. I mean, if anything, that you can show determination, that anybody can run hard. And so I had him, he was hitting into the net, and then I said, all right, just run. You don't run just to the base. You got to run through it if you know much about baseball. And so I had him do it a couple of times, and with kids, you could tell them, you could stop everything, show them, tell them exactly what to do. It still takes 2 or 3 times. I mean, you could stop everything and tell them one thing, they won't do that one thing. So that's the way it was running. And so I said, let me show you how to do this. I did it once before, but this time I just got it, because when you just mentally click on just to run, right? And so I did it. I went in there, hit it into Z, and I'm running. This happened to me like one time, kind of a couple of years ago, when I'm thinking I'm 25, and I ran to the base, and I don't know. I've never had pulls. I'm very fortunate to have injuries, but I know I at least strained my hamstring. And when I strained and fell to the ground, I did something to my shoulder. Now I can lift it like this. I can feel this. All right. I can feel this. So I'm not in pain right now, but I can feel it. And I don't know what's going to happen in the morning. I don't know, because I'm not used to injuries. I don't know that, and I can walk. I don't know if it's going to be better in the next couple of days, or I'm going to wake up really stiff with my shoulder, whatever. But I'll tell you this, I may not be able to do my workout, tomorrow. Can I do that? I guess it's getting better. I can do that, but why don't I want to do this? Why wouldn't I just rest for a while? I don't know if I can squat even with those 15-pound dumbbells. I don't know. Tomorrow I'll be able to squat and get back up. And even with the 15-pound dumbbells, I do those stiff leg deadlifts on a BOSU ball. Don't know. But I'll tell you, I mean, if anything, like I'm shaking up, because I'm thinking, I can't get hurt right now. I can't be in pain, right? I can't go to the hospital because I'm acting like I'm 25 and I tear something, right? And I can't be out of commission. I mean, look, I'm showing it for you. I can do my job and work. I can do videos. I don't know. I'll see tomorrow what kind of work I could do. I've never had energy not to work out. But I think that, I look for lessons in everything I do. Is that, number one, it could have been a lot worse. Man, I don't, like I said, I don't want this to affect my work. I don't want anything torn or anything like that. I mean, I got to start thinking this out and coach my kids and just, don't try to show them. Just toss them the balls, toss them the footballs, and let them do their thing. Explain it, right? So, yeah, but I know you guys have injuries from training and a lot of things in life, and your back injuries and things like that from life. And man, I have empathy, for that. But I'm supposed to be the example, right? I mean, if I can't do the show, if I can't work out for a while, so we'll see what that's like. You know what I mean? One thing, like I said, I haven't had injuries, but nothing's torn or broken. And I guess it'll be one of two things. It's like, man, that thing's stiff. You're going to be having to take it easy for a while. If anything, I can put off my workout, but I could get those throws, but we'll see how that develops. Anyway, I thought I'd try. Hey, let's appreciate our health. All right. And let's, who knows? Maybe all that 11 days, the last 7 days have been on that stability ball and working all those tying muscles like I talked about. Maybe that's what prevented something worse. I mean, or who knows, that might have caused it. Who knows, right? But anyway, all right. So Ken says, been there, done that. I've learned not to leave the ground after 45. That is true. Like I said, I'm the coach. I'm the setup man, right? So got to be thinking smart here, right? Because you can be fully functional, in shape, and look good. You don't have to be an athlete at 60 years old, right? Stephen, ouch. Yes, ouch. Like I said, when I went down, I knew I haven't been in this territory, but I said I'm thankful that I don't know. I like shaking up because I'm thinking, you had a little warning with that basketball, and now you have a big warning now. So Ronald says, I'm 50 years old, doing strongman now, and still doing powerlifting. I love it. After years of bodybuilding and powerlifting, I feel great. Awesome. 50 sounds so young to me at 59 and almost 60, right? But good for you, Ronald. Hello, Pete. If I did not say that already. Christopher, any tips? I've lost 20 pounds over the last 12 months. I want to get stronger and put on some muscle. Well, overload training, you got to make sure that you eat. You can still continue to get lean, lose body fat. Don't worry so much about pounds. And overload training, be consistent, back it up with good nutritional habits. I don't know how old you are, Christopher. Let's see. All right, here. I'm 63 and started working out at home. Awesome. You lost 20 pounds. I'm curious how tall you are and how many pounds, if any, you think you need to lose still. Because that illusion of building muscle, you overload the muscle. Just say, and that's awesome. Congratulations on losing the 20 pounds. And, 20 pounds over a year, I don't know what you actually did, but that's not a drastic amount of weight. Hopefully you did it in a sustainable way where you can continue doing it. All right. But, probably less time, worrying about actually how much weight and getting leaner, making sure you eat enough, and overload training. All right. Soraya, hello. Good morning. All right. On Facebook. Let's see if we got any more questions here. All right. Sean says, what are your thoughts on peptides usage in extremely high doses of steroids? What are my thoughts on them? I'm curious how old you are, Sean, because, I was thinking about it, like if you see me like on social media, even something like TikTok, where, if you really kind of look around, people are pretty brutal, right? a lot of traffic over there, a lot of short videos, and a lot of guys, they feel as though they can say whatever, right? And for whatever reason, I guess I'm not that controversial, or I don't stick out that much, but I don't get a lot of negative comments, at all. I've been doing this a long time. And when I was the drug-free bodybuilder, got a lot of comments. So someone would really have to be, I don't know, to really bother me. I wonder what that would be after, 30 years or so doing this, whatever, since the internet started. I've heard a lot of things, you get a thick skin. But, I don't know, today I posted something that went kind of viral, and I just said how many sets per rep or whatever. It was a 3-minute video. And, there's a couple old guys, and they said, oh, and don't forget the steroids, or you're obviously on TRT, or whatever they said, And I'm just thinking, well, that type of thought, I mean, look, I remember when I first started training, I mean, I won a drug-free bodybuilding contest after 13 months of training, right? So obviously, and it wasn't that competitive, but, obviously I did real well right from the beginning. But I remember even like between year 1 and 2, I would see guys in the gym and they were bigger than me, and I would just assume they were on steroids. So I know that mentality, even with, what I've accomplished. I mean, someone would have to be totally amazing for me to think they're on steroids if they said they're a national. I can't think of too many situations where a guy said, I'm national. And I went, no way. I can't think of many in all my 32 years. But the point is, the thing that's odd to me is a 50-year-old who's saying stuff like that. And then I'm thinking, what if your kids saw you on the internet say this stuff? I mean, I understand them thinking it, but, typing that in like they're a little 22-year-old troll, it's not what they say. It's like they're 50-something years old saying that, right? So I guess, I don't know. Do we ever grow past the age of 50? I mean, of 25 in our minds anyway. So I'm just curious, Sean, because, most guys I talk to, they're not really into steroids or, I mean, what's that all for? What are you trying to get buff at 50 years old, and you're going to take steroids and peptides and all that? I'm just wondering, and as far as what I think of other people doing them, I mean, look, we're all trying to get through this life, making our choices or whatever. I mean, obviously I didn't make that choice. I have no, I'm sure my testosterone levels have dropped tremendously since I was, a bodybuilder, a competitive bodybuilder, but, I've just moved on. It's not that important for me to be big. As a matter of fact, I think if you're over 200 pounds and you got a lot of muscle, that's probably not the best thing for longevity in your heart. And that's not important to me. So, someone wants to do steroids and be all buff at 50 or whatever. Hey, those are their choices, right? I got enough things worrying about myself and my kids and where I'm going in my life. I wouldn't advise it. I talk to men all the time, and they really are missing key points of training and nutrition. They have no idea they're missing it. If they knew that, they would do it. But you watch all the videos, and they're never going to pick it up. If you didn't pick it up in your first couple of years, you're just going to assume you know it, and you're going to train 15 years. Right? And you're not going to put the emphasis on nutrition. You don't know what buttons to push. Same thing with training. So you look pretty good. The problem is you look pretty good. And that's the problem. So you start thinking, old testosterone, this or that. If you knew what you're doing, you probably, not you, Sean, but a person, they wouldn't have to do that. Right? But again, everybody's, whatever makes you happy, right? I don't judge people. We do all kinds of things to make us happy, to get us out of pain and into pleasure. And if that's their choice, they do whatever. But if someone came to me, I'd say, well, before you do that, I would talk to them and make sure they knew if they paid a certain price and they knew a certain few things, they probably don't want to even take those risks or do any of that, especially at 50-something years old, right? But that's me, right? But again, I say that's from my view of the world, and me seeing all the bodybuilders and whatever they were chasing with all the muscle, and did it even bring them that level of happiness? No. What is the rep range that I work with? I work in the 6 to 8 rep range, except for when I'm doing that wake up workout where I'm doing 15 reps. But so Steve says, should you train after a sciatic nerve complaints after you've recovered? Well, you should talk to your doctor about that. Yeah. So Tim says, I'm 64, so hitting the irons. I do annual checkups, etc. Any advice on still lifting, or should I back off more of the lifting heavy? Well, that's risk versus reward. What is heavy? Heavy is relative. If you train and you get injured, or it's too heavy that you're not focused, or whatever it is, that's too heavy, right? Everybody comes up with 60-pound dumbbells. Heavy, is it? Maybe it is for you. Maybe it's not for somebody else. It's what creates overload, right? Some people just are stronger than others, and it really doesn't matter, right? Whatever creates that overload, right? Thank you for your reply. Great words. Oh, well, thank you, Sean. No, they have a clue. Well, I'm not saying that they don't have a clue. It's just I wonder if, okay, but if you do this, this, and this, and they believe with certainty, I sold them, I convinced them, and they gave it a shot, maybe that would factor in the decision if you wanted to, because everything you do in life has an upside and a downside. I've worn out 8 shovels. How many sets in that rep range do you do for chest? Now, again, it's not the number of exercises or sets. It's really, how you attack the sets, right? So, I could tell you, 9 sets, whatever, right? And, at that rep range, but it's really the amount of weight, form, feeling, execution, mind-muscle connection. It's just not a black or white answer, because, 9 sets for you, who knows? You might do it better than me at those reps, right? You're welcome, Tim. All right. Did you ever enter any powerlifting meets in your career? I did not. I had no desire to do any powerlifting. And that's one of those things that never really crossed my mind either. Do you still go heavy as you can, like you did in your videos? I still get the videos with heavy dumbbells. So cool. Again, heavy is relative. What I used to do, I had a lot more motivation to lift heavy. I was, 18 years younger. I would always have a training partner. So if I did heavy dumbbells or even bench press, I didn't care what it looked like on the camera. I knew I was lifting the weight. And I just, so I always had a training partner. I never worked out alone. And I always instructed them to lift it off the bar or push, on a shoulder press, heavy dumbbell shoulder press, or incline dumbbell bench or anything. I would have them push them up to the start and then get into the weight. And I would have them there. Not like, hey, stand away so no one thinks you're helping. I could care less what anybody thought. He would be right there. I had so much certainty to lift heavy, and I would get, and that's, so I don't lift anything like that now. Nothing. I don't have a training partner who spots me. And even if I had a training partner for a little while and still don't want him to spot me, because number one is I don't know if I can show up for his schedule. And I don't know how long I've learned how to train and push it and feel it. And I found that, right? But, it's interesting. That's like I said, I'm sitting here going, wow, how long am I going to be off? What am I going to wake up with this shoulder? Is it going to be stiff? Am I going to be out for a week or more? I have this hamstring, but I think that a lot when I'm weight training more, because it doesn't take, if you just slow it down and you really feel that muscle, you don't have to train heavy. Now, if you do, and you can slow it down, that's why that weight is relative. Then if you can do both, then great. But, like I said, like with this, I'm not going to risk that more, because, and I'll just tell him, right? He's a kid. He'll get it. I might have to tell him, 20 more times rather than show him, right? I don't even know if I could even show him, right? But So it's in the gym. You don't want to take risk with weight training, especially if you're, you know, 20, 30 pounds overweight, because you might have enough muscle, but you got to find a way to lose that body fat, get under 15% to look the way most guys want to look. It's really getting lean and to show the muscle that they already do have. Okay, so Ronald says, I can tell you training strongman has improved my health, my cardio. I'm still strong and competing. Yeah, I've got about 5 or 6 years before I need to back off. I'm talking that Washington State powerlifting record. Or, yeah, no, you know what? Do what you can. Someone's got to do it. You got to have a challenge journey. I guess I'm talking, that's a goal. That's like a sport, how much, whereas, you're just trying to develop the muscle, build the muscle. Sure, it's technique, but the outcome, the training and the nutrition are just the vehicles. The outcome is you want to look healthy and fit, and you don't have to necessarily do that, challenging yourself pushing it too far with the heavy weights. Got to think longevity. I got to think of longevity, right? As I sit here with a hamstring and a shoulder, right? I got to take it easy, right? Kayaking is my best results, does 100% of your body, but you need a lake or a bay. Yeah. Let's see. So, so Steve says, start counting after you get sore. Well, your mind is so strong, or you're not using it. It's one of the two. So the thing is, you can't just pick a weight, and you can't just pick a rep range, because the two that work together, 6, 7, or 8, 8, 9, or 10, 4, 5, or 6, even 12, 13, 14, 15. And then you find the weight that at the end, it's somewhere failure is around 12, 13, 14, 15, if you're going for that range, or 6, 7, or 8, right? But just randomly, just picking up a weight and then just keep on going. You got to learn how to corral it, right? It's too much on the mind to just pick up weight and then count after you're sore, right? For the close grip bench press, how close should the hands be? I feel pressure on my wrist and someone on my shoulders. I'm always a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Like I'll line my thumbs up with one of the markers, and that's it. I use one position on the bench press. So I certainly don't do a wide grip like a power lifter, and I don't do a close grip. So it's always a little bit more than shoulder width apart. If you see, I have a lot of benching videos there. You can kind of see where I am and compare it to where you are. All right, guys. Good weight gainer. I'm not into weight gainers. High caloric foods, can do it, I guess. If you can't do that, then, but weight gainer is so misleading, because you're either too much of a surplus, you can gain weight, but it's not going to be muscle. And if you need a certain amount of weight because you're under eating, I guess you can get the calories from a weight gainer. But food is a weight gainer, right? If you eat enough food, it's a weight gainer. I guess a weight gainer, you have the convenience of just getting those calories, pouring it in water or milk, right? All right, guys. Hey, good questions, good energy. Thank you so much. Hey, check out below if you want to go into this deeper. I've got many ways to, help you reach your goals. I talk to a lot of men. I think you hear me say that. That's, like all the questions, and I really enjoy it. All the questions that, you're asking me, I've answered like hundreds of times. And so I get better and better at, doing the answer. So, if you say, well, I like his style of how he explains things. Well, that's a lot of repetition, doing it wrong. But if you keep on answering the same, and believe it or not, men ask the same core questions. They have the same challenge. If you've been doing this long enough, you know what the challenge is, what the next step, where the next step is, that where they need guidance. And then, the art of coaching is explain it. But if you really want to take this to the next level, and, like I said, guys have been training for 15 years. A lot of times, if you don't have the body that you want, and you start thinking you need to take steroids or peptide or TRT, or it's just because you're old or whatever. Well, it's just they don't put enough emphasis on just certain things. And it's not like it's nuclear science, but if you didn't get it in your first couple of years, you're not going to get it in year 17, 18, 19. Why are you going to change things? Why are you going to? I could tell you exactly what to do. And unless you're at a point where, I must do it, good information. This could be a good guy. Yeah, I think I used to do that. Right. But one-on-one coaching with accountability, if you're the type of guy who does what it takes to get what he wants, you'll be surprised how much even you can get out of one-on-one coaching. But again, I really specialize guys who've been doing it for a couple of years. They're consistent in the gym. They've been eating right, just being smart, being consistent, and they get to that 20% body fat and they don't know what to do next. More of the same won't work. And if you don't do certain things, if you don't emphasize nutrition, if you don't know how to get under 20% body fat and what you're doing, and you don't even know exactly what you're doing, it doesn't get you any further. You can train forever. You might be building muscles slowly, surely in your 50s. But if it's under that fat, you're 20, 30 or more pounds, you're really not going to see what you want in the mirror. So I usually, like I said, I work with guys, a couple years or under, who really just, they're just dominant in their business. They're, they just take care of things. Now they come into this area and they don't like this. I got to watch all these videos, and a lot of them from these kids. They don't want to mess with all that. And I take them within 12 weeks. They have all the knowledge they need, right? All the knowledge and understanding, right? I use that 80-20 rule, the 100 things that you're told. They know the 20 that are most important. Now it's just about doing it. And it's easy to get motivated when you feel certain what you're going to do is pay off. And also your expectations, like when it happens, how it happens. So Ronald said, ooh, I still have your mass machine training video. Do you have that in VHS? No, right? That is a classic. Do you know how many times when I was younger, I watched that before training? So cool. You know what? I appreciate your support. Every single one of those VHS tapes, I cut out the cover, I labeled it. I put it in the box that got you there, and I printed out your label. I did every single one, right? Yeah, you know what I'm going to do with that? I am going to, for you guys that are interested, I'm just going to have like a download of those things. Just make a simple process, not put it on a card, shopping cart. And I'll say, look, here's all these 10 ebooks that I wrote. If you're interested in that hardcore approach, buy all these ebooks for $20 or something like that. And just make a simple little checkout. I might do that with downloading, those, I think I produced like 8 videos of the hardcore bodybuilding, and, do something really simple like that. Right. All right, guys. So reach out to me if you're interested in one-on-one coaching. Look down below, check out those links, those pages. I've got so many ways to help you reach your goals. All right. So that's going to do it for this Workouts for Older Men Live. Let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.